So our firm has developed an asset management platform that can help sponsors in their acquisition process. One of the things that we do, which we feel is very important, is to actually work with each of our sponsors to build their specific due diligence checklists. So one of the things that differentiates our approach from most other firms that help sponsors is that most firms will set down the firm's due diligence process and have sponsors force sponsors to actually comply with their approach. We've taken a different view of what people need and what sponsors really require and what investors appreciate, and that's to work directly with our sponsor to understand what their view and how they want to work and what's important for them and their factors. We then create a checklist that's specific to them, unique to them, that's owned by them. And then we use a mixture of technology, building processes through operations and our technology platform that we have, but also a team of people. And we're able to then execute on each individual assets that can be presented to us. And we can do it as a third party, but do it in a manner as though our sponsor were doing it themselves. The advantage to the sponsor is we have an experienced team that is here on demand. So a sponsor does not need to maintain, 2 or 3 full-time people that may have very little work to do in between acquisitions. So we're here available on demand. The sponsor also has us as a firm that's working off of the sponsor's checklist, the sponsor's due diligence requirements. And then most importantly, as a third party, we're here to help facilitate through the process, the acquisition process. What I mean by that is, so often when you're doing due diligence, there's an aspect of collecting information and data. There's an aspect of then taking that information and data and populating that into models or into some sort of evaluation platform. And then there is the final piece of that, which is the output, some sort of reports. We don't make recommendations. Our clients don't want us to make recommendations. That's the unique value proposition of the sponsor. But we do everything and provide everything needed so that our clients can make their decision. They can make their basically work as their own due diligence committee and approval committee. So as a third party, we can be a party to that committee, right? So therefore, we can not only collect that information, analyze that information, package and present the information in a way that the sponsor can make a decision off and make that actionable, but we can also sit there as an outside party on the investment committee, on the acquisition committee, however the sponsor or company wants to set that up, and help to provide a different perspective and outlook. Because so often, if you think about one of the challenges that sponsors do run into, is they sometimes fall in love with their own cooking, right? Which means that they'll find something, they only find things that they think would be a good fit. They bring in either their in-house team or in our case, bring in an outside team. Some teams doing due diligence and organizing that. And so often the investment committee then making a decision are all the same people again, right? They're the employees not wanting to upset the boss. It's the boss's trusted people who are just think like the boss thinks. So we can also sit on that committee and basically try to be the guys who may say no, try to be the team that may say why. Try to be the organization that may say, are you sure? Because if we can help to provide that type of level, not only of providing the information, but then also feedback in an objective manner, which is everything our company's been built on, is to provide an objective compliant platform for those firms that have investors or private capital. If we can do that, then not only when a sponsor says yes, do they feel comfortable they saying yes, but to the investors, most importantly to us, the investors feel as though there was a true process, there was true open communication, and there was a true level of decision-making that's equivalent to the largest firms in Wall Street, from which me and many of the principals here came from, without the costs, without the overhead, without sometimes even the aggravation of trying to manage and maintain that. All available, again, on demand. So our typical clients who are sponsors may bring to us 2, 3, 4 potential acquisitions a year, sometimes more, sometimes less. When we do work with our sponsors and they do make a decision to, let's say, move forward with an acquisition, well, we're also there to help manage that process, right? The hardest part of that process is making the decision, yes. The boring part of the process is then doing your doing all of the 30-day and 60-day true due diligence of getting environmental, title search, going to the site and checking that out, ensuring that all the aspects that looked good on paper and the reality of now bringing in outside firms to do the confirmations of the due diligence are there. So our company as an asset management a service provider will also manage that part because none of our clients want to do that. They sometimes do it because they have no other choice because there's not many firms that want to just basically provide that level of service at an affordable price.